So Austria just fell into a personal union with Denmark, and they beat out France to stop the succession war, or I don't know if that's the right way to put it, stop, but there's a succession war against France, and they were not successful. The problem is, well, there's one big problem. See, when Denmark got this personal union with Austria, they lost all their friends. And they did have they were friends with Haiti, but what's Haiti gonna do in the Caribbean? I will give them the fact that Haiti kind of saved them from France. I do think that they at least had that big of an advantage. But I mean, how much were they gonna really save them? So Denmark now fell into this because they had no friends. It was just Denmark and Austria. So I'm not saying that Denmark's going to lose their personal union with Austria, but Denmark's going to lose a lot of their power here in the Baltic states. Russia declared an individual war against Denmark, calling in England, and then Poland did as well. I think Poland is added alone because they don't need to deal with anybody else. Babylon, also a big old coalition against the Celts, has formed up once again. Songhai went to war with Haiti, again for Western African provinces, and we already talked about Russia. Portugal at war with Haiti, which is kind of surprising. And that is about it in terms of things that are new. It has been a few years since the last video, but nothing really has happened, I don't think, besides the fact that Byzantium is even smaller. Carthage got separated from these other Byzantium provinces here because of separatists, and I think that is it for now. Polynesia is fine. Again, India went to war, and Polynesia is fine. They are after, actually, this part of Celtic territory. So that's what really India needs to do. I don't know why they aren't doing that. They could really, I think, have a lot of success if instead of going after Polynesia and probably getting a more immediate border with China, they should just be moving to the south. Look to the south. Grow that way. Don't try to go towards China. They're not ready yet. They're totally, I can guarantee you, are not ready to face China. I don't think so. When China has more investments around the world, maybe if they had more islands, or maybe if they started to attack Alaska and grab some things out this way. Oh, who's this? Who's Alaska fighting? Oh, Denmark, Polynesia, Spain. Okay, I get you. And that's why California is mainly doing that damage. But if China has investments all around the world and it's not all in the continent of Asia, then they'll be a little bit weaker, and you might have a better advantage. At least you might have time on your side, you know what I mean, to occupy a lot of provinces, and then by the time they actually come over there with most of their forces, it'll be too late. They'll already have enough war score, and China will have built up a lot of war exhaustion. But it's unlikely because I don't really know where else China is going to colonize at. If they maybe try to attack Indonesia and grab colonies in the Pacific, then maybe. But we'll see. Ooh, a few more wars I think have just popped up. We've got Indonesia versus the Polynesians, Siam versus the Polynesians, Siam calling in China. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Polynesia got themselves involved into a lot of different wars. And there's really starting to become... Ooh. See, Polynesia wanted to take over Papua New Guinea, and that's the problem. I think that might have messed them up. We'll see if China actually takes this stuff for themselves, though, or if they give it to Siam, or if they don't take anything. Over the break, though, there was a big Latin American war. The Incans did go to war with Brazil, but nothing happened. I don't know why. The Brazilians called in a pretty massive alliance. Well, it was Spain and Venice, but the Incans just called, as well as Spain had Spanish Colombia on their side, obviously. Inca really needs to support the Spanish-Colombian independence. They really need to try to support that, because that would really help them out. But I don't know if they will. It seemed like the Incas were starting to dominate Brazil, but for some reason they pieced out too soon, or something like that. I don't know really what happened, but it made me think that the Inca, I think, will be able to fully control Latin America. And I think that will lead to a very interesting future. Just like where we see the present day mod, Peru tends to dominate, there must be something going on the western side of the South American continent that we're not noticing. Because the Incans, I think, like I said, I mark my words, they're going to dominate Brazil, and I think they're going to be just as powerful as we saw in the present day mod with Peru. I think eventually they'll control almost all of Latin America, which will be very interesting when the Incans get a border with the Mayans. That is, of course, going to be before we're going to have to see. Well, first of all, the Mayans they're trying to support the independence of Spanish Colombia. That is going to significantly help the Incans right now, because obviously Spanish Colombia gets called in when the Brazilians go to war. So that's going to help them out, and the Mayans don't even realize it. So I don't know, we'll see. We still have to wait and see the Mayan-American War. That's what we're all waiting for, but there really hasn't been any new updates at all when it comes to that. Something else new just popped up. The Incans versus La Plata. Smart move there. Babylon after. Okay, so a lot of people at war with Haiti. A lot of people at war with the Celts. A lot of people at war with Polynesia. In terms of this video, really no major wars are going on, except for Poland and Russia, absolutely dominating Austria and Denmark. I think Russia is going to take things away from Denmark. Poland wants Austrian lands though. And because remember, Poland has a lot of cores, I think, here. Not that many cores. But still, we talked about this. Denmark desperately needed to connect these two sides of their empire. And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do that. They're going to lose this war really bad. And I don't know who they're going to get on their side. Is Sweden also still allied to Spain? See, that's annoying. I don't know why. If Sweden loses that alliance, things are going to get really interesting in Scandinavia. Because I think Russia and England are going to be very aggressive, and Denmark is going to be very aggressive. I think Sweden is... I don't think Sweden is very powerful at all, really. But they're being kept up by Spain. So, I don't know. I mean, Denmark is probably not going to be the same after this. I think they're going to lose a lot. Because these are separate wars. That's the thing. If Poland and Russia were working together, they would have to divide up the war score between each other. But these are separate wars. So, Denmark's not going to be the same. Austria is not going to be the same either, though. Let's check in on Polynesia and China. Completely forgot the fact that the Huns are still around. We did completely forget about that. India is still going after all these lands. Because, wait, why? Who got you involved in this? Polynesia. You declared war on Polynesia. That's right. I should have realized that. Ooh. That's a pretty big divide. It might be Siam and China taking most of this stuff for themselves. But remember, Siam has to actually give that stuff to China. Siam's the war leader here. So, I mean, the AI tends to usually give their allies land if they want it. But still, it's all up to the Siamese AI, not the Chinese AI. So they're in the driver's seat, which is a good thing for them. You know, part of the reason, actually, now that I think about it, part of the reason why I don't know if people are getting enough war score with Polynesia, because they're not taking, like, the big Polynesian land. Holy crap, I don't think I even thought about that. Here's Fiji. But Polynesia starts off... Oh, they changed their capital. Okay. I was going to say, if it's still on that island that I started them off in, that would be very hard. There it is. So they did move it to Australia, which was a smart move overall. This is the problem, though. If they don't get the capital, then really they never get up that much war score. This is a nationalist war. I mean, the Siamese reconquest, they don't need the capital, so they're going to get a little bit of a war score. But that is, I think, what's going to actually keep Polynesia in the game for a really long time now that I think about it. They're going to be fine. Russia's at 68 war score with Denmark. Poland, weirdly enough, is only at 3 war score with Denmark. That will probably change when Russia gets out of the war, which should be soon. So, yeah, you know what? Polynesia might be fine. I mean, they're going to get their butt kicked, and they just don't have any troops in this region. So you don't keep losing things. But that's going to be fun to watch out for, I think. And I promise in the next video we will look over the ledger. I promise. It's been like 25 years, maybe 30 years since we've checked the ledger. So there's going to be some drastic differences as well as more and more. I know I've been saying this throughout this campaign, but every single video that goes by, I think we're able to kind of pick kind of a top 5. Even though it's kind of complicated, if you look through the big mess that's going on in the world, if you look deeper into things, I think there's a very clear top 5 almost. And I'll go over that in the next video. I'll probably make my predictions, and you guys can make your predictions now. Who you guys think is in the top 5 before we check over the ledger? But I'll save what I think for the next video. I want to get like a nice opinion. Boom, La Plaza's been destroyed. I want to get a nice opinion from you guys. But we'll see. I mean, just to throw a few names out there, I guess, in no order. We've got China, Spain. Those are all big ones. I would say Syria's a pretty big one. Mayans, America, the Incans. I mean, all of those are pretty powerful. There might be a few, I mean, maybe a few dark horses, I guess is the actual term for it. Okay, so Russia did peace out, and they took over, how much did they take? They took a good amount away, didn't they? Yeah, they did. They took about 6 provinces away, which Russia needed. It's a very smart move for Russia. Surprisingly enough, I'm surprised that, surprisingly enough, I'm surprised that Russia and Assyria are allied. That's pretty shocking. I didn't think that. England's making a crazy comeback. I love this English-Russia. I don't think... I'm just really shocked by all that. Didn't think that was going to happen. Okay, so let's review over some of the war score. Oh, now France is going after Denmark and Austria. Man, that was the biggest disaster. And I think that's one thing that we've learned so far in this campaign is the weakest moment an AI has when they first gang a personal union. I think is that initial decade, and clearly. Because we've seen 3 personal unions this entire campaign. First of all, you have to deal with the succession war. I think the first time we saw a non-successful succession war. What was it, like the Netherlands over Sweden or Sweden over the Netherlands or something like that? Spain had to deal with a lot with Venice initially, because Venice declared an independence war pretty early on, but they smacked them down and they were fine after that. So that's also a pretty big deal. Siam's at only 9 war score with Polynesia, so they don't have enough to give them both China, because this was declared to get their core back, I think. Reconquest of Hue. They're not going to be able to give anything to China, I don't think. We're just going to keep Polynesia in power and somewhat keep China in check, surprisingly. But that doesn't really make any sense. Why were they so... No, that does make sense, actually, because I was thinking about when the Indonesians controlled a huge portion of Indonesian China. Remember, there were troops actually in Indonesia, and they went after the capital of Indonesia. And they were, and remember that was earlier on, so I'm sure those casus belli were things that did give a bunch of war score for occupation over the capital and stuff like that. With Polynesia's sake, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. China has tried it. Don't get me wrong, China has tried it, but Polynesia is smart as an AI so far, and they have, almost a 70 stack here, ready to fight. And yes, I realize that China has a huge navy. But I don't know if they have that many transport ships. For some reason, I feel like the AI caps itself off at a certain point. They do not build more transport ships, which is strange. That might be a present-day mod thing, or that might have just been a random theory that popped up in my head. But in the previous series, with the present-day mod, it was very strange because I had noticed that there was just a limit where an AI wouldn't pass a certain number of ships, a certain number of transport ships, a certain number of heavy ships, no matter if they had a big force limit or not. It was really weird. I think there was like no limit to maybe galleys or something, but there seemed to be a limit to like 90 transport ships at most. And I don't think China has the navy because this is not the present day mod or the Victorian era mod. This is not at all the extended eras mod, I guess I should say. So there's no way China's that powerful yet. They're powerful, but it's only 1728. Let's do check a nice little technology overview. That's kind of interesting to see. Military-wise, China kind of behind, but maybe not that shocking. I mean, only 1 tech behind is nothing. Is pretty much nothing. I mean, I shouldn't say nothing. Ooh, Mexico's behind. It's pretty much nothing, but it can, depending on the military technology, I think a human player is able to utilize that 1 tech advantage military-wise over an AI, but I don't think an AI can fully comprehend exactly what tech they have over another AI. So, like if you get extra shock value or something like that, I don't think an AI really calculates for that. But I don't know. We'll see. Zulu trying to push out Venice. They will probably have success maybe doing that. And we might see a nice, like, wasteland, another color of wasteland pop up. Okay, so Siam's at 14 war score now. Indonesia's at 12. We have France at 3 war score. A lot of people at war with Haiti. Sweden now at war with Denmark. Man, yeah, they got crushed. Denmark just got crushed like that, which is going to bring a whole new balance to Eastern Europe, I would say. I would really say that. What did Poland... But Poland didn't really take that much back, which is weird. But look at this, though. This is the new alliance. France and Poland versus Russia. I'm sorry, France and Poland and Russia. Russia and Poland obviously don't like each other, but so this is a good move for France. Although, there isn't a lot of hatred going on in here in Western Europe, surprisingly. I don't know, that's weird. Still, it's a good move for France to kind of stay ahead of Spain. Oh, Spain, I think, is at war with Portugal. Well, it's because Polynesia is. Polynesia called in Spain. Maybe Portugal will finally get kicked out of Iberia. I'm shocked that they're still around. Really didn't think that they would even get this far. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what Songhai takes. Songhai's making a pretty good comeback. Ooh, no longer an alliance between Morocco and Songhai. So I think it's safe to assume that those two nations might be going at it soon. Yeah, Songhai's got a large force here too. So Morocco might get pushed down. And Songhai needs to try something because, first of all, they have a huge threat to the north with the Spanish, but also they're about to face a big threat from the Assyrians in their east. Also, this whole part of like kind of Eastern Africa is going to be labeled as Syria, and Assyria is going to be looking really, really powerful. They're not going to necessarily have all that power, but they're going to be looking really powerful with that big font. All right, so Polynesia is fully occupied in China. The Philippines have also been occupied. Polynesia is still having somewhat success going after Portuguese Papua New Guinea. I realize that's not what it's actually called, but that's what I'm calling it just to kind of make it more clear. Who is this here? Oh, Venice is also playing a big role. So this episode has been kind of a lot of just kind of coalition wars, defending on the weak. I mean, let's not you know, I guess detour the what's the word? I don't know. Let's not downplay the significance of Denmark and Austria losing a lot of power. That's pretty big, especially because these two nations, you know, are in the heart of Europe. It's a pretty major deal, I'd say. And I do think that, you know, the balance of power is going to shift, I think, more towards the east. England, I'm still waiting for Russia to do more, though. I think they might end up trying to get themselves involved in a war. See, look, why is there so much happiness going on? Why do people like Spain so much? It might be a religious thing, and it might be maybe it's more of a global thing where most of the Europeans start to realize, like, wait a second, we need to support Spain because China is really, really strong. I think that's maybe something likely that's happening, especially because of religious differences. Yeah, that could be it. Most of this world is Catholic except for Russia, but that could be it. It's not necessarily for sure, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. My Protestantism never really grabbed that much control. Mainly in Austria, parts of the English Continental Empire, or European English Continental Empire. Greek has made a comeback, especially with that alliance with Russia. Kind of a smart move there. But yeah, no, I think that the wars from now on are less regional, less continental, more global. That's kind of the big wars that I think we're waiting for. Besides North America, let's exclude North America and South America from that comment. But definitely when it comes to the old world. Definitely. And zoomed out like this, we see all these occupations that India controls. That's what they really need. They need to move to the south, man. Move to the south. Yep, so Polynesia didn't lose anything. Again, they might have lost one province. Is this Hugh? Was this what they declared war on for? No, that's not it. Still, Polynesia's going to stay around, and it's going to weaken China. Wow. I think I don't think they're going to fall. It's going to kind of weaken India, but India has other chances of going to the south. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.